It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Legal persons everywhere. What's up, guys? It is the Bad Wolf once again. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let's get the lights on and shall we illuminate? There we are. Make a little light, little or more light. May there be more light. All right. So as always, I'm your most gracious host, the International Man of Mystery, the Man in Black. This? Don't mind that. I just robbed some old dude in a sleigh with some reindeer, and probably shouldn't have admitted that on the internet. But if he doesn't complain, then there's no victim. So I guess I'm good. Anyway, guys, Christmas is over, and today is 12/30 of 2025, and this is 3.0 on the beginner's guide. Now, a lot of people have been wanting me to make some introductory videos on how it all started. So if you're watching this video, go back and watch 2.0 and 1.0, obviously. And if I remember, next videos I make that are beginner's guides, I will just go 4 or 5, blah, 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 on and so forth. So what are these beginner guides? They're really for people who are just getting started in learning this, and for some of the people who are already in the wolf pack, or at least running with the wolf, who maybe you've never seen some of my old videos, or in learning this myself for many years, maybe I didn't know as much as I know now, and so I'm making these beginning guide videos, basically recapping all the stuff that I've learned up to this point. I mean, I've been doing this since I was 9 years old, so that's 40 years at this point in time. But I do find it cute, some of the people out there, oh, that young man doesn't know what he's talking about, that kid. Kid, I've been whooping lawyers, attorneys, judges, police officers, cities, municipalities since I was 19, and that was 20 some years ago. 30 years ago, I guess now. Jesus. Um, so that being said, what is this video about? Well, you read the title, so that tells me that you're at least competent and proficient in reading. This one is about the beginner's guide to the record of live birth certificate, heirloom birth certificate, state of documents that brought you into this jurisdiction. So if you didn't watch my other videos, the first one, we had to ask the question, what is this all about? Is there anything real to this? Is there any merit, or is he just a madman in a blue box? Well, all the answers to that are yes. It's all crazy, but it's all in fact real. It's legal. So if you haven't watched the first videos, here's a quick recap. When you were born, you were given two different things, one by birth and one man-made. One was God, and one was man-made. The by God one, by your baby butt being born here, was that you were a state citizen. This has standing in law. It is its own thing. Floridians, New Yorkers, California, Arkansan, Texan, Tennesseans, Coloradans, that all, if you look up on your own, GPO Style Manual, Section 5.23, you go to the Government's Publishing or Printing Office book, free, online, PDF. There's 4 of them. They should be coming up with a new one soon, guys. I know you watch my videos. Chop, chop. With that being said, but thank you in advance. With that being said, in that manual for free, the government states if you're born in any of the organic states, meaning let's take Wisconsin. So in Wisconsin, there's Wisconsin State, which are Wisconsinites. And then there's the corporate legal version, the doppelganger, the mask, the corporate fiction, which is called State of Wisconsin. Those are 2 separate things. One is public, one is private. The public is the state of Wisconsin. The private is the Wisconsinite. Now, depending on how far down you want to go, your name in all lowercase lettering is the organic version of you. And mostly the upper and lowercase is still the same thing. You're pretty good there. But the all capitalized version of you is a legal person. It's not really you. It is like having a business that you put your name on, because even all businesses, almost all businesses have a name and a public transmitting utility number, the EIN. Well, your legal person also has a type of EIN, and that's the Social Security number. That Social Security number is financial or bisexual, however you want to look at it. It can go both ways. It can actually be used as a tax exempt or taxable entity. When you allude that it's taxable, that then means that you're making what's known as a revocation of election. You're choosing to opt to pay taxes. Now, we won't get heavily into that. If you want more information, check out blacksite32.com or jamesclovett.com for videos, or you can contact me and do a consultation privately, and I can get you up to speed, tell you what you need to know, and show you where you can find more information. Otherwise, I do recommend before contacting me to watch a number of my videos because for free, because I'm not free, except for to my girlfriend, even though I pay for almost everything, but it is what it is. Anyway, um, you can watch all those videos and get up to speed. Now, there are about 1,100 videos, but they're mostly short, so watch them as you see fit, but at least watch the top 50 to 100. You'll get a pretty good understanding of what you need to know in this. But these beginning guide videos, I'm getting you in the game. For those people who just stumble across it and they're just like, well, I don't really know. If you're watching this and you want to send it to somebody else, so that they can get in the game, or they are lost and they're like, I don't even know what this is. Where does this even all start? What does it all mean, Basil? Well, I highly suggest going back and watching 1.0 beginning guide. Okay, and then James C. Lovett. Have them type that in, that'll get them started. Then that video will link to 2.0. And now this is the 3.0. So in the first one, we talked about how you are born as a national and then you're given through man made creation U.S. citizenship, which is under the 14th Amendment and makes you a slave of the system. Whereas the national or state citizen, sometimes referred to as a foreign national or non resident, depending on how it's being used, your primary understanding is that you are a national of the organic of the state in which you were born. All of us together are then nationals of the United States. Individually, you can call yourself a Floridian, New Yorker, whatever, which is a state citizen. But everybody together in that group, we are nationals. Okay? You get both at birth. Cornell Law EDU, 8 U.S.C., 1401. Look it up. Oh, and by the way, hi, Cornell Law EDU. Hi, board members who like to watch my videos, and legal officers and three-letter agencies. I know you guys all watch my videos. So I'm trying to organize it a little bit better than what we've done before. And if anybody out there is against me or this information that is party to the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights, you are in fact a traitor. And if we find you, or when we do, tick tock, tick tock, the American people are waking up. Now, I'm not saying that you don't not need to or should not need to, or the straw man is evil, but we need to know that when we gave them our name, which is called a given name, to the system, it was then transmuted on the state level and lower, not the government level. They're under the Constitution. On the state level and lower, it was transmuted into what's known as a legal name, which means it's a separate and unique, different entity that has the form of a man, similar rights, but not inalienable rights under the Constitution. So, two separate things. That legal thing is public. You, the living, touchable thing, are the private. You can use either one. You can be you, or you can put a mask on and go right to P. Diddy's Playhouse or the all white party, which now I think all white has some different meanings. That anyway, so there's two separate things going on within you, and underneath 8 FAM Foreign Affairs Manual, so 8 FAM 301.1-1 letter B, it states that nationality and citizenship are two separate things. So I've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that I've been right. I mean, you don't get an IQ of over 160, 61 by being stupid. Not that I'm all knowing or get everything perfectly right. Nobody does. So there it is. With that being stated, these are two separate things. And if you want to be private, you now have to create something a new name, or a new private entity to create a private side. That's how those things become tax exempt, private, and outside of the government or the police or the state's reach. Now, if they do overreach into there, they can be sued in their private capacity or public, depending on what they're doing. But before trying to do any of that, you need to don't just do any of that, okay? Always vet the information for yourself. And I highly suggest you contact me or somebody who is a somebody who knows what they're doing in the industry. You're going to find that most of the people you talk to, judges, lawyers, whatever else, either they don't actually know or they're going to pretend not to know because they're in public capacity. They're in their IMDb labels them as actors. So whether they know it or not doesn't matter. Whether they know about constitutional law doesn't matter. You need to know what's going on and operate accordingly. And do not be a belligerent or combatant. Do not try to make them feel stupid or like shit. Do not ever put your life in any type of jeopardy. Always do what's going to be right to get you through the moment. You can always sue and deal with things later on. Do not try to overstand the situation and make things bad or whatever else. Okay? But if you're going to do these things, you should be sending out your affidavits letting them, the police, the chief of police, district attorney, attorney general, your mayor, your governor, give them good notice. I'm doing right to travel. I am a private citizen. Here's the GPO style manual. Some of them don't know. And even if you do inform them, not that it's mandatory, if they overstep your rights, it's deprivation of rights, 1983, 241, and 242. So not only are they depriving you of your rights, they're pretending to be ultimate law, and they are not. Unless you are operating 100% in the moment as a U.S. citizen. And then, in fact, they are your boss. From the private side, you are their boss. This doesn't mean you get to just punk them, but it does mean they're supposed to do what you tell them to do. But when you're operating as that public thing, they are your boss. That is how it works. If they deny you of your rights as a national, you can sue them under 8 U.S.C. 1503, denial of rights and privileges as a national. Why did the government put that there? Because they knew and know what these lower states, the corporate side of these states, are doing. They gave you remedy. The government can't just jump down and get into your affairs or whatever else unless you bring them into it. The government believes you are competent and that you are, in fact, a private citizen. They know that. They don't even have to say it. It's the states that are operating in the fuckery. And they think you're stupid. And because of that, they want you to be stupid. Why do you think the education sucks and they don't try to help you? You don't see positive news stories anymore. You don't see people going door to door caroling. They want us all to be separate, stupid, fat, sick, lazy, put all this crap, extra things in our food and deodorant and water and whatever else that they don't allow over in Europe or other places. Some of our stuff cannot even lawfully be called food, and legally it's barely food. But I digress. If you want to learn more about that kind of stuff that I know, follow me over on my other YouTube channel, which is also my backup channel. Okay. And that one's called Badwolf Unrestricted. You may not like what I have to say, but it's stuff you need to hear. Believe that. So, in you applying, not knowing what's going on, they asked you to prove residency, residency, to reside and enter. So you resided from the private to the public with your name. It was a given name, and then they changed it into a legal name. So now it's tainted. It's always going to be looked at as that 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. But you still have the ability as a creator, as a living thing, as a creditor, to create more private things, different variations of your names, different entities that you can then use to be completely private. Now, you don't have to be completely private. You don't have to do everything in all of my videos. I'm just showing you guys my life's work. What I've been doing since I was 9 years old in Boy Scouts. Look at my Boy Scout book. Became an Eagle Scout. So, yes, I'm a nerd. Eagle Scout of America. Yes, I have all those badges, Order of the Arrow, all that stuff, Junior Assistant Scoutmaster, did all that stuff. And actually, that is where I learned some of the beginning pieces. So, now that you know, or should know, or will know, when you decided to ask for the benefit and privilege, which you did not have to, of a driver's license, Drive or driver, driving, it means for profit. That's why you can just jump in your car and do Uber or DoorDash or whatever else. It's a commercial license. But if you need a heavy commercial license for doing major stuff, then you have to get a CDL. The system controls all things public. It's public administration. They cannot control the private. You will never see a sign that says we control the private. They can't. But if you, as the private state citizen, national, Floridian, New York, or Californian, do something stupid, deny somebody their rights, or something criminal, you're waiving your rights. And you're being brought into, recited into the public to be judged, weighed, ruled, measured as a human to see what is wrong with you. Because in 1983, that's what I got to do, by the Black Law's Dictionary, number two, second edition, it states that a human being is a monster. So now the hue means visual. Hue means a spectrum, a sliver of what can be seen. We need to judge you to see what spectrum of of a man that you are, because you clearly can't handle yourself in the private. You're causing controversy, so we need to see if we need to lock you up. What's wrong with you? You've made yourself a public monster, and we put down public monsters. We have to go after the dragon. Hell, we have to go after the wolf. Are you a good wolf or are you a bad wolf? Which one are you? That's also by spectrum perspective. So when you did that and you applied for those things, you checked off U.S. citizen, when on the end you should have, and I'm not saying do this, should have been checking state citizen at the end, national, or writing in Californian, Floridian, Wisconsinite, New Yorker, or whatever you are. You decided to say, no, I'm a federalized. I almost said federal ass. Leave it in. We're not editing. U.S. citizen. You're saying I'm one of them. Out of the two things I can be, a state citizen and slash national, or a public 14th Amendment U.S. citizen operating under maritime admiralty jurisdiction, all yet underneath and inside of this bubble, which is the American family, but two separate things, legally different than each other, but still in the same family. You went over there on that side. So when you guys are out here sitting here worried about red versus blue, left versus right, gay, straight, this, that, all these agendas, wear the blue hair, put the thing in your nose, so that's all entertainment. They are keeping you distracted from learning this shit right here. Those are games. It's called LARPing, live action role play. The murder hornets, the coin shortage, the mailbox thing, all those things, some of which they probably orchestrated, educationally speaking, and the other stuff probably natural, but they still blew it up. Who's got monkeypox? 8 people, but it was a whole big thing. And we're not even going to talk about the CVD-19 and all of that. You want to learn about that? Watch my Badwolf Unrestricted. We can go into that a little bit and some other things, and we're going to talk about educationally speaking. But anyway, so now that you know you were born with both, you tainted your name, you recited. Now we got to talk about almost going back before the fact that you just did those things. How did it really start? And really, this probably should have been maybe the first video. Okay. But when you're mad as a wolf, your brain just flows with things. So I just go. All right. No scripts here. How did it really start? Well, from the moment your parents did the bow chicka wow 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 chicka wow 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 wow, or maybe it was just a bow chicka wow, whatever it was, you came out of your mother's womb. Now understand that everything that's in this maritime admiralty jurisdiction is water based. These people are, and I'm going to use the word occult ish, okay? But occult really means hidden. So they're hiding this information in plain sight, but almost everything that they do is water based, water terminology. So before we get into the birth certificate versus the heirloom and the certificate of live birth. Let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about some of the words that we use on a daily basis that are water in origin, which are their bubble, the public's jurisdictional words, identifiers, and markers. Record. RE is one of their hallmarks. Record. Register. Register. To put down into paper and to bring over. Resident. Res your identity. To reside. Re. Those are all theirs. The highway represents or represents living people who are private citizens should always be speaking in the now, not the future, not the past. That's proper quantum grammar in English. So we are present. We're not represent. Dead things are represented. So they want you to be represented in court. If you're being represented, it's not you in the real you. It's the straw man, it's the legal person. You are being represented because you cannot present yourself. You're considered dead, legally speaking, or civil mortuus. So, which is Latin. All right. So, with that being said, the highway represents the high waterways. They're representing the streets to be waterways because they're water. The bank, what is a bank? It's where water meets the land and business is done. The word bench or court means bank. So they're doing banking. There's money being transacted there, whether you know about it or not. And it's a whole lot more than you know about. And me, I only know about a little bit. I don't know all of it. Nobody knows all of it. That's the trick to this whole game. Nobody knows all the rules. They're in bits and pieces and books and things. And you got to know what you're dealing with, what terminology. So they use Black Law's dictionary. We use Merriam and Webster's, which is American. Now we're all in the American family, but that's true American. What they do is American sanctioned, but their own jurisdiction, which is public, civil, UCC, maritime. So it's American as if I were to marry into your family. I still have my last name Lovett, but if I'm marrying into the Johnson family, well, then I'm considered an honorary Johnson member or member, excuse me. So that's what's going on. Okay. So the doctor, well, what is a doctor? Somebody who catches the baby. From where? The mom's womb, which is the water canal. So the baby coming out, that baby is considered a vessel governed and operated by the soul within, but not of the age to be competent to do anything. So to catch the baby, you need a doctor, somebody who can catch the ship coming in that's being launched. And that's why courthouses are ships represented as ships in dry dock. Once again, docking, which is declaration of conformity. DOC, it's a declaration of conformity. They're conforming you. Tor is to take an action. I swear I've seen this. This is official. I'm seeing it. The word citizenship, it's right in the word. Ship. Sitai Zen ship. What is sitai or situs? Situs means property of the city and to be conformed. Chiseled away like each little white pillar until they all look exactly the same. That's what they're doing to you. From you being private as a savage. They're indoctrinating you. They're conforming you. They're getting you ready to be one of them. I'm a savage all day, unless I don't want to be. Can ask my girlfriend. All right. Anyway, so sitai means, or situs means property of the city. So property of a dead thing. Sitai means also to colonize. It's a double entendre. It has two different meanings. Zen, to be made calm. Ship, to be put on the ship, to be property, a member of. Citizenship, which is different than nationality. How do we know that? I'm glad you asked. 8 FAM 301.1-1, letter B. Citizenship and nationality are two separate things, though we have both of them. This is the game, good people. You're in the game now. I, Morpheus. Do you think that's air you're breathing? Do you think your physical body has anything to do with your digital legal name in this reality? All right, enough of the theatrics. So, now that you know the basic building blocks, you know about being a resident, you now know that when you signed up to vote, you were saying that I want to be regarded as a federal citizen of the citizen stateship. I want to become a member of that, even though I was private. I want to be regarded as that. And because you didn't change your name for any of those things, they changed your name that you had, which was given, into a legal name that then turns your name essentially now legal. So everywhere you look, you can't be like, well, my name is James C. Lovett, and I'm a private citizen. Well, it's kind of true, but they're gonna be like, yeah, but my computer system, my Almighty God, hail to the AI, hail AI gods. It says James C. Lovett here is this and this. I have to go by this, so I get to arrest you because you probably are out there operating as a U.S. citizen. You have not made, like me, a private ID with a private name. When I'm operating not as that name, that legal person, but the private person, I have a different name. I have a different entity. I have an unincorporated government. I have a tax exempt entity. I've got numerous of these things that I operate tax exempt. One taxable, one tax exempt. I have one judicial government on the public side, and I've got my private one. I've got different EINs for different things that I use them for. Now, do you have to have all of them? No. You need whatever it is you want to get accomplished, you do, and that's what you need to do. You do not need to do all the things I show here or all the things that anybody on any YouTube show people show. And for the love of God, watch out for people charging tons and tons and tons and tons of money for this information. It's all in these books. So yes, some of us do charge for our time and what we've done because it takes a long time to study this. But at the same time, you need to be studying yourself and doing it for free as much as possible. But if you can't and you want the shortcut in some areas, then yes, you can go to my website, blacksite32.com or jameslovett.com and learn more. Anybody else, if you trust them, you think they seem good, follow them, vet the information, make them show you where they got the codes, prove it to you. Now understand, some people, they may have some proprietary things that they know and they don't want to share because that's how they could put food on their table, keep their lights on. I get it. I do the same thing. So you need to have some discernment. Do not be spending thousands upon thousands of dollars, okay, unless these people are going to show you that they live this way and that they are successful with these things and not getting lucky or just they didn't get caught. So be careful with some of these processes if they seem like they're too good to be true, because they probably are. But is are a majority of the things that you hear out there, is there some truth to them? Either, yes, either they're all true, partially true, or all false. Be careful. Generally, you can tell if they're charging too much money or they're being shady about their name, their face, their information. They don't show anything real, um, or they're charging thousands of dollars. Okay, don't fall for it. So let's now get into what you guys came to see. So I apologize for that, but this is a prelude of everything to this point. Okay, if you want all the rest of this in full, go back and watch 1 and 2, and let's now finish with 3. There may be more, but from here, these are the core pieces that you need to know. From here, you can literally watch all the rest of my videos and start adding to these three videos. Okay? So, we talked about you coming out of your mom. Oh, Lord, sorry for how that sounded. But apparently, nope, not going to do it. Not today. Nope, nope, not going to say it. Nope, nope. Leave that joke alone. Hmm, that's what she said. Okay. So your mother has you. She doesn't know what's going on, but there's already a game afoot. Generally, you're in the hospital. Should you be born at home, parents, mothers, have women come to me, fathers even, to be fathers, and said, should we have our, and they usually use the word children or child. In the private, they are your offspring, especially known as your biological offspring, your biological kid. Why don't we use the word child? Because they own the word child. They also own the word family. So if you see them say somewhere where there's a sign that says family law, children's court, whatever, they own the word. And if you agree to go there or to enter your offspring into those things, you're telling them they own your product that should be a biological offspring, but you call it child, they call it child. So you're essentially contracting there by being there and saying, I am owned by you, and so is my child. Ladies, females out there, when they get you to sign the form and you admit to being the informant, they're downgrading you, they're degrading you, they are misnaming you, but they're allowing you to do it to yourself. So this is where some of the beginnings of the fraud come in at. You are not an informant, you are the biological mother. And whether some of you ladies like it or not, you have a biological father, unless you're born in one of the secret labs underground by the government. That's a whole different thing, educationally speaking. So you guys are not parents. You're not a pair of renters. Because from the state's position, they're looking at you as you're renting the kid because you're registering the kid. We're going to get into that. And parents and a child, legally in business speaking, commercially speaking, are corporations or entities doing business. It's not what you're doing here. When you let them use those terminologies, those words, whoever owns the word can give it a definition. If they can give it a definition, and by the way, they own the word corporation, and the word African American and the word white. So we're not whites, we're not blacks, we're not African Americans, we're Native Americans. We were born here. We may have been brought here originally. Some of us may have been here. Some of us may be related to, you know, Moors or Mauritanians or Atlanteans or whatever it is. If you were born here with your butt, that is your birthright. You are an American, a Native American, no matter what color, creed, race, age, nationality, orientation, whatever else. It's what you are. Which means if you know how to correctly operate and move, you are tax exempt and private. That's how that goes. No matter what the schools taught you, no matter what you thought you understood, because it was in a book in school, so they told me, or they didn't tell you at all. I'm here to tell you the truth. God is my witness. God bless America. Now, fathers, males, whether you like the lady, female, the girl, or not, maybe you got with a 304. Maybe you messed up like I did. Still, yet you had a beautiful offspring. Make sure you're there, and at some point in time, make sure you either sign or update the birth certificate. Sign that bad boy. If you want to ever have any rights. If you don't, you're a POS. Well, then don't. Then you have no legal connection or network to your offspring. That's up to you. The reason why I'm in the fight is because I did. Otherwise, the states, which is a gross misappropriation of one's rights, generally like to take the side of the female. Now, what I'm going to say, a lot of ladies are not going to like. All right. Normally, I would save a lot of this for Badwolf Unrestricted, but we're going to put it out here a little bit. And this is not going to be a favorite thing. And I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay. much like my TikTok channel, which is also the Bad Wolf. I just keep it real. So here's the thing: just because you birthed physically the offspring does not give you 100% jurisdiction over that being. You have an egg that's unfertilized. You have the perfect oven for something to be baked, but you need the baby batter that we make in order for that to happen. Unless you're like a hermaphrodite or immaculate conception or whatever else. But, those are rare things. That being stated, the male, not all males, so ladies choose wisely before letting a male drop off the baby batter because you may in fact be with an adult sized boy or a boy-minded male, not man. Like gorillas, some of them look the same, but the real ones, the males, the real males, the leaders, silverback. The regular ones, blackback. There's a difference. Guess which one is real? Guess which ones the rest of them bow down to? Like, I won't even go into it. All right. So anyway, silverback guys my girl has dated, regular back. There's a difference. That being stated, everybody should be choosing wisely. We make the batter, put it into the oven, you bake it. I go to a soda machine, I got a handful of coins, I put the coins in, soda comes out, I bought the soda. Okay? Sorry, truth, science. Now, moving forward. When you're there, you both have equal rights. The courts do not want you to have equal rights. They want the females to have equal rights. Why? Because financially, they know that females make generally less money than males. They want money. They don't give a rat's ass that you're a female, but they want to use you. They want you to be against your baby daddy. They want him to be a POS. They want you to want money from him. Did you know that certain agencies got together and they created the whole welfare system and had females go on there and basically promote that I don't need no man? Also, that they could make billions of dollars off of you in your I don't need no man just because I had bad discernment and I let him use me as a dumpster. Whatever. He was trash. Well, you picked him. You let him hit at least more than once. Bad discernment. But I digress. Guys, be careful who and which you have a female with or a baby with, and those females. Some of them are adult sized girls, just like some guys are adult sized boys. And we've all been there. I found an adult sized girl. Should have listened to her when she told me she was messed up. She did warn me one time. Should have listened. Didn't. Wasn't thinking with the right head, apparently. Now, moving on. Sorry, truth hurts. But I keep it real. I put my own shit out there too. No lies need to be told. Truth is way more entertaining. Entertaining. So, moving on for informational purposes from your favorite non-belligerent non-combatant, Treaty of the United States, Lord of Levitica, private citizen, national, and head chancellor, Supreme Lord Chancellor, Bad Wolf, James C. All right, so you've had the baby. You now know about what they're doing with the birth certificate and whatever else, but we need to go deeper. We need to go deep like. And when I say deep, ladies, I'm talking about 3 solid inches. Sorry. Come on. You gotta have a little fun in here, all right? All right. So, all right, everybody fight. Deep is dependent upon the individual, okay? For some people, apparently 9, 10 inches is not deep enough. And for some, 3 is deep. So it depends on who you are in the receiver. But anyway, so you've had the baby. Now that she's had the baby, the hospital begins their game of trying to, and the direct attendants don't necessarily know, but they know something's going on. But they have to play the game too because they get paid off of what I'm about to tell you. So the baby's out. Now, the first thing that they do They take the baby, and if it's an older hospital, they take it, put ink on it, stamp it on a little sheet of paper, and that digital piece of paper, which should be in this format, which is called landscape, is the baby footprint version, also known as the live birth record. Pay attention to the words and the orders that they're in. Live birth record. Some of them might say record of live birth. This is the mastermind, Willy Wonka, the best one you have on landscape, L shape, longer on the bottom, short on the top. This presents America. America works by landscape. American documents are landscaped. Corporate documents are portrait. U.S. Corporation, UCC 9-307, letter H, location of the debtor, United States Corporation. And underneath this are all of the states of state of Florida, state of Maine, state of Arkansas, state of Wisconsin, state of Illinois, Wisconsin State, Florida State, Texas Republic, Maine Republic, organic, living. Generally, this is how it's supposed to go to show the differences in jurisdiction. So now you got the one with the baby fee print on there. A lot of times what they're doing now is they're digital. Zoop, 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 zoop. All that goes right into the computer. You never even see it. Matter of fact, you're not even going to hear about it unless you ask about it. Now, they're not going to call it to your face the record of live birth or the live birth record. You're going to have to refer to it as the heirloom or souvenir birth record. And while you're there, you want a copy of all of the information, everything, bill, everything they have, you want a copy of. Now, what they're going to do is if you ask for that document, that landscaped baby heirloom souvenir, yeah, of course they call it an heirloom, something to keep for over here for family, private stuff, because it's a private document. It's an heirloom, yeah, because you can pass it on. It's a souvenir, something that shows that you were here. They downplay it so you don't know the worth and the power of that living document. Now, allegedly, they keep these for a number of years, but they essentially, allegedly, make their way to the Vatican. Pope apparently buys them. They love that kind of shit. Can't prove it. Nobody really knows. They won't talk to me. Imagine that. And I've talked to many legal departments across numerous states in the United States. Now they're starting to get wise and they don't like to talk to you. You just get a recording now if you even make it that far. Yeah, it's probably my fault. Learning this. Can my haters say that? Can they say they've done that? Can they say they've beaten judges? Can they say judges have asked them to join them? Have you been made offers by the Illuminati, members of them? Do you know any of them? I do. Do you know any Masons, Templars, Eastern stuff? I do. We're not the same. But to those people who don't like me and what I do, I mean, if you want to keep my name or part of me in your mouth, I mean, that's up to you. You guys can do whatever you want to do. It's a free country. All right. I mean, wherever you feel comfortable with mouthing, I guess. So, moving on. Now, from there, they don't want you to know that that's a living document and that is the most powerful document. And it's a land claim. It binds your living body through immaculate conception, immaculate touch to that piece of paper, then binds you to this reality and to land jurisdiction, which then binds you to the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights. It means you can utilize this. It's yours if you want to use it. You are protected. It is not your governing authority, but is your protection. It's supposed to set there to ensure you have rights and to limit those states and corporations and traders, clandestine entities and operations going on out there from doing what they're doing right now because you're not paying attention to those things. What they're doing, and they also hide, and your rights, freedoms, and liberties. Now, This the second document is known as the certificate of live birth. It's a certification or to be made formal of the live birth. Key word in here is of. Of means you're not getting the real thing. So you're not getting the real thing of what? The live birth. Why? Because the previous document, the baby feet print on there, is the live birth. They made you a bootleg copy of the original that they don't want you to have. And if you even ask or talk about it, they're going to say, well, okay, fine, I guess. Damn, this shit. If you really want it, I guess you can have it, but it's like 200, 250, or whatever else to get it. And they won't put it on your hospital bill. So then the hospital, because it's a business transaction, there has to be a receipt. So the receipt is called the certificate of live birth, sometimes referred to as the long form. It's also a living document. It's one that they have to give you. You've already paid for it. You have to have a receipt of the transaction. We know it's living because it has birth weight, date, time, mom, dad signature, doctor signature, hospital, birthmark, all that kind of stuff. So similar, but not the same as the first one. It's not as powerful, but it's also powerful. But they really don't even want you to have that one. But but you gotta. Matter of fact, they want you to have it, but they don't want you to keep it. How do we know that? Because later on, some lady slithers into your maternity room and goes, "Oh, beautiful baby boy, beautiful baby girl. Oh, the here comes the lie, the pseudo gray area lie." And she goes, "Well, the state of Maine, the state of Arkansas, the state of California, which are corporations, and there's no law that says you have to register anything. Recording the birth for the organic, yes. Registering, which is what this is about to happen, no, because that would be slavery, and slavery's been outlawed. They can't tell you to register anything when they're not giving you anything. They're taking. That being said, she then offers you the state of Arkansas says you must register your child. There's that key word again. And we need one of your certificate of live births so that the state can have it. So now the state has the next best land claim living document and offers you two state of Arkansas birth certificates. Well, guess what? You're going to find that there's very little information on that document. Why? Because they're creating a new vessel, a legal person, that which has the form of a man or womb man with a womb, penis not included, baby maker. And with that being said, they created a legal version of you, a doppelganger, an alter ego, a vessel, water vessel that you can then use to represent yourself as a member of the public, a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, a de facto entity, a business trust within their jurisdiction. You joined a gang in order to barter and trade within their system. And with that, you need a public transmitting utility. You have the name now, but you need a utility number, which is your social. But your social from the government was really never meant to be taxable and used that way. So they created a system where you can make an election to pay taxes based on how you present or represent yourself. They gave you a business. How do we know that? Well, when I did a FOIA request on my application that my mom did for me back in the 70s, they didn't hide a lot of this information. That's how I stumbled on a lot of the stuff. I did FOIA requests on old documents, my mom's, mine, all that stuff. And if you pay attention to the words and you know how to understand what you're reading, you'll see a lot of amazing stuff. So on that application, it said, what is the given name? And then it says, what is the doing business name? And she had my name on both. And then if you go even right now, before they change it, to the Social Security Administration's website, you can look up the history of the Social Security number. You can also look up what they call as transmuting the given name. What does that mean? It says it right on there. They take the given name, they transmute or change, they res the identity into a legal name so that you can then utilize your name in all capitalized letters as a legal person or entity, that which has the form of a man but has different rights and privileges than the living. Says it on their site, says it in their books, says it in America's jurisprudence. Just saying. Look it up for yourself. So now we know that once you give them one certificate of live birth, they give you back two birth certificates. Now, those birth certificates that say state of on the top are in portrait form. They have very little information. Name, mom, dad, birth date, state seals, CUSIP number you're not supposed to pay attention to because the CUSIP number on this paper that's thicker and why you can't make a copy of it, you have to get a certified copy because this is a security. It's on bond paper. And that CUSIP has a monetary value that they trade. So this is part of the reason why people say, oh, they're holding money in our name and they got these secret bonds or whatever. That you're holding it. You're holding the document. They bonded you like a slave, a docket. When a new product comes into the ship or harbor, it has to be on the docket. You walk down the dock, there's a person to receive it, the doctor, and they have a docket, declaration of conformity, paper. And in this case, the one from the state, not the hospital, or the homemade one, or the birth record one from the Bible, or the one you can make. This one makes you a member of the public, gives you the ability to be that member and to operate it. And if you don't know how to operate it, well, then as somebody holding a membership document, they will operate and administer you, that public person that they're saying is you. You're holding the document that says you. You're showing everybody, telling everybody this is you, even though it's actually this piece of paper. This piece of paper is that thing. But you're saying this is me, it represents me, and they're saying, okay, cool. Now that we know that you're a member of our gang, gotcha, bitch. You're a member of our corporation. We expect you to do certain things, say certain things, pay your dues, be on time, do this. We'll ticket, tag, and tow your car. All these things. Because now, here's the thing. So now your name, that legal person, is registered to them. So now, yes, you can vote. Yes, you can get a bank. You can get a driver's license. Even though all those things you can do yourself privately, but you didn't want to. You didn't know about it. Now, everything underneath your all caps name is, in fact, an account because they gave you a sheet. They gave you a docket for that account. And now everywhere out there in their world, you're putting it underneath that name. But you've registered that name to vote, to get a bank account, to get a vehicle, and you're saying it's you. So now everything you put underneath it, your house, your car, your kids, your car, whatever, is now underneath that account, and that account is registered or registered to them. It's been recited to them. Ergo, now they can do whatever they want to do to you within the merit of the law, as long as they do not take away your constitutional rights. But if you don't say anything or you don't know about your constitutional rights, which is why I tell people before contacting me, read the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution. Don't come to me talking about this, that, or the other, and you don't even know who you are, what you can do, what your standing is, not your status. Status for dead things. What your standing is. Don't come and bother me. Read it yourself. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just telling you to read. I don't care what you do. Oh, you wanted more? Okay, my bad. So, now that you know that state of birth certificate has a monetary value, you also know that it's a legal person. You also know that you can use that to represent yourself as a U.S. citizen, the 14th Amendment, which is a public person, which is separate and distinct legally from a de jure state citizen, national, protected rights, freedoms, liberties versus benefits and privileges in the public. You are private citizen, national of the United States. Now, outside of that, can you call yourself something this, that, and the other? Yeah. For if you're going to deal with them, you have to speak their language. So a lot of people got not really mad. They got a little miffy when I said, "Oh, the state national, the American state national, or the whatever." You guys, everybody's got different names for it. They want to call their group something different. That's fine, and that's totally fine. But understand that the government is watching. Hi, government. Three letter agencies, they're watching. Hi, guys. Because if your group decides to do something, people start becoming belligerents and combatants underneath your name, your group will be well, everybody's watched, but your group will be labeled domestic terrorists because they don't recognize those names. Those names to them don't mean anything because you haven't created something proper and registered as an entity with them to say, hey, we're cool. Guess what? You can find Levitica National Government. It's registered to them. They know I am. They still watch. But my charters and things say I'm a non-belligerent, non-combatant, treaty, peaceful. I only specialize in information purposes, education, and light entertainment. Is yours? But do you have the right? Do you have to do that? No. You can be completely private. Matter of fact, you should, especially if you're not doing any financial business. But if you have members and your members start acting wild, they're going to come a knocking. That's why I won't create a nation where everybody can just be in it. I'm not going to be responsible for everybody out there. You're supposed to be responsible for yourself. And why are you guys joining other people's nations out there when you should be creating your own? Your own nation, your own tribe, your own house, your own government, your own trust, your own unincorporated association, your own 50, whatever it is you want to do, whichever one of those structures you like the best, you do it. You don't have to get an EIN for it, but if you do, do it the right way. I got videos on it. You need help? Let's do a consult. Hit my website up. That's the power of the private. You do basically anything you want to do as long as you're not hurting or taking away somebody else's rights, not doing damage, anything criminal. Not in the corporation. They got rules for everything. You can't even breathe or sneeze right. So when they deal with you, they're going to deal with you and process you because you don't know how to deal with the courts. You don't know how to invoke certain things. You don't know how to move the right way. And that's why some people get shot down and whatever else. But there are some judges and lawyers and attorneys and cops and sheriffs and marshals who overstep the law because they don't know what I know. Most of them do not. Some of them have pieces. Some of them are watching right now. And I applaud you guys for educating yourselves. Doesn't even have to be here. Get the books, read it for yourself. Look it up. Challenge, question everything I'm saying, but look it up for yourself. Use your own interpretation. So now you understand that there's three general birth documents. A heirloom, which is also called the souvenir, which is also called the record of live birth or the live birth record, certificate of that live birth, And then the state created state of birth certificate. And this is the legal person. This is your right to the legal political world. These are your rights, and they are superior. Inferior, de facto, superior, de jure. American, wholehearted, pseudo American. Private Members Association, public, maritime, admiralty jurisdiction, U.C.C, political. Are you awake yet? Are you getting it? Took me a long time to learn all this in the right order and what to say and how to present it. So, torch is yours. What you guys want to do and how you want to move, it's up to you. I'm not here to tear down the system or to whatever else. I think that there should be a whole lot more oversight. Matter of fact, I should run for president, even though I would never make it in as a president. Um, but there's levels to these things going on, guys, and there's a lot more. Some that's above the average person's pay grade, and I know a lot of, well, not a lot, but some of it. And then there's the stuff I can share, which is what these YouTube videos are about. And there's more to be shared on Badwolf Unincorporated or Badwolf Unrestricted, my other YouTube channel. It's up to you. But what it is at least now you know what the game is. I'm not saying don't be a U.S. citizen. I'm just saying use it as you see fit, but be as private as possible. The problem is that they don't like, educationally speaking, you to be private because then you're taking your assets out of their visible public system. If you're a police officer or a judge or a lawyer or whatever else, any of these public persons, even your stuff doesn't have to be public. But when you're in duty, when you're in office, that and things associated have to be because you answer to we, the people of the United States, and we want to know what you're doing with our money. That is the deal. We're in a trust. The United States of America is held in trust. You are our trustees. We are the beneficiaries and the executors, the grantors. We created it. We can change it. We receive from it. You work it. And when you're not working it properly, we're going to hold you to it. And in the old days, it was tar and feathering. Now, we've got people on TV who blatantly say, well, we're not going to release the Epstein files, or we'll do it when we're ready. That's not how it works. It's just there's nobody here to say, I, as an American, authorize the appropriate other agencies to be involved and to make those things happen. But everybody's become such sheeple. I guess that's why I'm a wolf. I'm not asleep. I'm not a people. And I'm not a sheep. Ergo, I'm not a sheeple. So stay a sheep if you want, or start, or be a sheep with a wolf's mentality. But you need to change that mentality you guys got now. Otherwise, there ain't gonna be no America in the future. There's gonna be nothing left of it. They will have successfully, here's one of their biggest secrets, corporately taken over our United States, our United States of America. Some of y'all ain't even saying it right. That's it, guys. That's all I can tell you. There'll be more videos coming. I'm gonna launch this one right now. Countdown begins to the new year. Make it your best year and hold it there. Strive to be better every day. Or not. It's your choice. But I believe you can be. I'll talk to you later. Well, let me think. Before we go, is there anything else? Well, let's see. Blackside32, jameslovett.com for the free, some free living in the videos for now. You guys should check because I update. I usually put one or two new videos up there every month. Most of them are paid streaming, but there's a couple free ones for now. Talk about the birth certificate. Talk about it's on bond paper. There might be one or two more things, but if you want to know the deeper stuff, you better go over to jameslovett.com and watch some of the videos that spark your interest. Because here's one of the things that the system taught me. Oh, yeah, I know they watch these videos. I watch them. That's how the game is played. Know your piece, know how to move it. I know my piece, and I know how far to move and not move, and how to move correctly, because I've learned the game. But one of the things that they taught me is that not everything, though knowledge is power, should be put into the public. For some things are private and should be talked about privately. So, Black Side 32, jameslovett.com. And coming soon, we're going to be doing some private conferences where a whole lot more interesting information will be going on, educationally speaking. I'll talk to you guys later. Stay positive, stay blessed in the new year. Let no weapon or enemy formed against you prosper. In the great name of the big grand architect of the universe, so mote it be. I believe in you guys. Take care. Wolf's out.